welcome to the Memory Lane 80s show. I'm Hayley Palmer. It's so good to have you here with me on the show this evening. Now, we have got a very special guest for you. Yes, we're really privileged and honoured to have Paul Carrack on the show this evening. Here's what happened when I caught up with him. Paul, it's great to have you on the show. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you? How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. It's such an honour and pleasure to have you here on the Memory Lane 80s show tonight. What have you been up to in lockdown?
Yeah, well, keeping busy. You know, I've been writing a lot of stuff. I've got I'm very lucky. I've got my little studio here at home. So basically working on a couple of different projects. One is a whole new lot of material, but I'm basically recording that all myself. You know, I play a little bit of everything, so that's kind of my normal songs and stuff. And I'm also been making an album remotely with a big band in Germany, a swing band, and we've been making a kind of blues album, sending the stuff back and forth, and so yeah, I mean, it's tricky times, obviously, but been trying to get on with it and be positive and creative and yeah. Yeah,
because I guess for you, a lot of the time, you know, you are away a lot touring. So I guess you kind of, you know, when you are away, you think, oh, I wish I had some time in the studio to get creative. So I guess it is a good time for you.
Well, yeah, on that, looking at it from that perspective, yeah. I mean, it's been great to have the time without any sort of time constraints or pressure to complete stuff and all that. So, but you know, we definitely, I mean, big part of my thing for the last few years especially has been playing live, you know, and touring, and it's been going really, really well. So it's a shame to get cut off, so to speak, but you know, we just got to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, watch this space. Hopefully things will come back shortly. Now, we're going to play out How Long? I mean, this was one of the first songs that you ever wrote, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it was quite the first, but it was definitely the first of a bunch of songs when I started to write, you know, songs. And it was certainly the first hit. And we were very, very fortunate, you know, that somehow it got through the net and became a hit all over the world. It was fantastic.
Yeah, just brilliant. Well, I've also noticed that it's used on the Amazon Prime ad, probably because I'm on Amazon Prime the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, let's play out the song. We'll be singing this all evening now. Here is How Long, Paul Carrack, and we'll see you after.
First song ever wrote.
fancy persuasion
Don't admit that it's part of the scheme, but I can't help but have my suspicion. I ain't quite as dumb as I seem. You know, you said you never intended to break up our scene in this way. There ain't any use in pretending it could happen to us any day. Well, how long has this been going on? Tell me, people, how long has this been going on?
Now let's rewind, Paul, because how did it all start for you? Because I know that you had a love of music, and you also had a love for drum playing as well, didn't you?
Well, I started out playing drums. Well, if you could call them drums. I mean, my dad's family were pretty musical, and I know my dad dabbled with drums when he was young, and we lived at the back of a shop. You know, we had a paint shop. My dad was a painter and decorator. My mum ran the shop. And in the attic, I found a couple of bits of old drums. You know, there's an old snare drum and a bass drum. And I used to bash away to records. And when I went to sort of secondary school, there were a lot of kids taking up guitar and stuff. And the school had a couple of drums. So we formed a band at school. And I got into it like that. We played at the school concert, and we played the Beatles songs, and the girls screamed and threw jelly babies, and I thought, that's it. I'm in. And so I, by the time I was, leaving school at 15, I was already kind of playing in a semi-pro band, and I decided that was what I hoped to do.
Yeah, but I mean, when did you know that you had that really kind of gorgeous, soulful voice? Because, I mean, I know they've dubbed you the man with the golden voice. I mean, how does that just come naturally, or what's the secret?
Well, I wasn't singing in bands, though, until quite late, late on. I mean, when I was a kid, people used to say, oh, he's got a lovely voice. But in bands, no, I was either playing the drums, which I started off with, and I moved to keyboards later. But it wasn't until Ace and that song, How Long, that's when I started to sing lead vocals. I'd only sung kind of backing vocals up until that point. So, in the early days, you have a sort of a sweet spot, some notes that sound really good, but it takes a while to develop, your range and your musical vocabulary, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm still trying this, and 39 years later, I still can't sing a note in tune, Paul. You'd be horrified. But we're now going to go into When You Walk in the Room. Now, this is my dad's favourite song. He really wants us to play this one out. He says he's likes lots of different versions by Jackie DeShannon and the Searchers, but yours is his absolute favourite.
Oh, well, that's nice to know. Yeah, I was a big Searchers fan. I mean, I loved all the Liverpool bands, the Beatles, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Searchers had some great songs. They did some great covers. And I think there was one guy in the Searchers, apparently, who was the dab hand at sourcing, the American versions. And that's how they got all the great covers, like Needles and Pins. And as you say, Walk in the Room. It was written by Jackie DeShannon. And I've always loved it, and I still enjoy it. And as you say, a lot of people, it's the favourite one I do.
Yeah, so, well, it really is. We love it here on the show. And this one is going out to Mr. Palmer, my dad. Here we go.
Every time you walk in the room, taking place. tell you how much I care, but I only have the nerve to stare. Whoa, I can feel something pounding in my brain every time that someone speaks your name. Trumpets sound and I hear thunder boom every time that you walk in the room. Whoa, every time that you walk in the room. In the room, baby. Last time, Stevie Baker on the saxophone. Every time you walk in the room, baby.
Now, I want to talk about your album, Another Side of Paul Carrack. I know it's had fantastic reviews. What can we expect from it?
Well, it's very different to the normal things that I've been doing. Actually, it's because it's recorded with a 30-piece big band
Yes.
and strings. I had this relationship with a big band over in Germany. Years ago, they asked me to make a Christmas album with them, with the Christmas classics, you know, in this kind of swing style. I'd never done anything like that before, but I went over to Germany and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And each year since then, I've been going over Christmas time and doing some concerts with them. They're absolutely phenomenal band in that genre. And so they decided to expand the repertoire a little bit. They invited me over. They had a slot, a TV special, and they invited me over as the guest singer. And we discussed some repertoire. And then I went over to Stuttgart, stood in the middle of a 30-piece band, and it was recorded live for TV. So
Wow.
they gave me the opportunity to release it as a CD. And so, as I say, it's a little bit of a side project, but it was great fun. I loved it, enjoyed it.
Wow, well, it's available to download on all major platforms. So we'll put details on the screen below of how you can purchase that. Now, we're going to play out Sticks and Stones from your album, Paul. So let's check this out and we'll see you after.
bother me. People talk trying to break us up, scandalizing my name, saying anything just to make me feel bad, anything to make me shame. I've been used in my heart, yeah, I've been used, been abused, I've not been stopped. People talk trying to break us up, let you go. Let you go. Well, yes, I know. 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 Well, I know. Yes, I know. Ooh, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. And I've been to you. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, I
Now let's talk Mike and the Mechanics, because I mean you must have really fond memories of those days. Is there anything that really kind of stands out to you from those days of Mike and the Mechanics?
No, it was a great band. It was put together by Mike Rutherford, who's obviously, you probably know, I'm sure, that he's the guitar player in Genesis. And it was originally meant to be his solo project, but he decided, they didn't want to sing on the album, and he got on the first album he had various vocalists. Myself, there's a great guy called Paul Young, sadly no longer with us. Paul Young is from Manchester, I should point that out. And the first release was really well received. It was a big hit in America, and I think we went on to make 5 or 6 albums that were very successful. And it was a bit of a melting pot of people from different areas of music business. But we'd all been in bands before, and we all knew how to make it work. So it was great fun while it lasted. I got to sing some big old hits on that. But, I kind of left the band, well, it's a good while ago now, over a decade. But they've continued with a different lineup, and I believe it's also very good. But it was important for me to make the decision to focus on my own career a little bit, because there just isn't time to do everything. So it was great fun, great times, but onwards and upwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Onwards and upwards. Well, we're going to play out one of your great hits, The Living Years. I mean, this remains one of the greatest power ballads. I mean, it did great in England, but it also did really well in America, didn't it? It was number 1.
It was number 1 in America and a lot of other countries, but it was number 2 for 2 weeks running in the UK. We didn't quite make the number 1 spot. Oh,
why not? That's so unfair.
Well, it was. I'll tell you why not. Because we were number 2, and we thought, next week maybe we'll crack it. But it was Gene Pitney and Mark Almond with "Something's Got a Hold in My Heart." That kept us off the top. Anyway.
Oh, we're going to play out a version now. That's a live version from Birmingham Town Hall. So I hope you all enjoy this at home, and we'll see you very soon.
When my father passed away, I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say, but I think I caught his spirit later that same year. Sure, I heard it echo in my baby's newborn tears. So I could have told him in the living years. Say it loud, say it clear. You Was you here? 'Cause it's too late. Oh, it's too late. Too late when we die. But we don't see eye to eye. Say it loud. Say it clear. No. Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't you wait till it's too late. Say it loud.
Now, Paul, we've got a little quick fire question round for you here on
Okay.
the show because we make everyone do it. So your first song ever purchased?
That would be my first record I bought was with my brother John. We went halves, and it was Buddy Holly, and it was a double A side. Guess It Doesn't Matter Anymore, and Raining in My Heart, which it's a great song. Actually, I've started doing it myself live recently, and so it's a lovely song. Yeah.
Oh, we'll look out for that. First gig that you ever went to?
Ooh, goodness. I mean, I grew up in Sheffield, you know, and at the City Hall there, all the major acts would come through there. I missed Buddy Holly because I think that was 1957, which was a bit before I was able to go to gigs. But at Sheffield City Hall, I saw the Beatles, the Stones, Chuck Berry, Bob Dylan, you name it. They all came through town, and it was fantastic. So the most memorable would definitely been the Beatles.
Yeah. Wow. Just brilliant. Your driving song, is there a song that you just like to cruise along to?
Let me think about that one. What's a good, I mean, you can't beat a bit of Fleetwood Mac, I think, can you, for driving? That's a good old song.
That's a long distance one. Yeah.
I can't think of one in particular. But anyway, anything by Fleetwood Mac, how about that?
Yeah, we'll take that. And a song that you've most listened to in lockdown?
Well, I'm a big oldie fan, though, you know. So I like a lot of rootsy kind of stuff, old R&B acts like Amos Milburn and people like that. But let me think. And my default is to go Motown.
Oh, yes.
So let me think of a great Motown song. I mean, it's a bit obvious, but it's you can't beat it, really. I mean, My Girl.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I'll have to get that out later. Love that. We're going to play out actually one of my favourite songs of yours, Paul. Love Will Keep Us Alive. This is just beautiful. And the Eagles covered it, didn't they? How did that come about?
Well, mid-90s, I was working with two guys from the Eagles because if you remember, they kind of split up and they couldn't agree to get back together. And I was contacted by Don Felder and Timothy Schmidt to go over and form a bit of a band and write some songs. And one of the songs I took with me was this song. It was co-written actually by Peter Vale, the late Jim Capaldi and myself. And I took that song over, Love Will Keep Us Alive, and I was singing it. But when we recorded it, but cut a long story short, when the Eagles reformed, that was kind of the end of that project. But they called me up and said, listen, we'd really like to record that song, Love Will Keep Us Alive, and Timothy's going to sing it.
Wow.
And he said, absolutely, great, fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's just a beautiful song. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. So enjoy this, and we'll see you after.
I'm going to do a song now written by Peter Vale and Jim Capaldi and myself, recorded by the Eagles on their Hell Freezes Over album. It's called Love Will Keep Us Alive. I was standing all alone against the world outside. You were searching for a place to hide. Lost and lonely, now you've given me the will to survive. When we're hungry, love will keep us alive. Don't you worry, sometimes you've just gotta let it ride. The world is changing right before your eyes. Now I found you. There's no more emptiness inside. When we're hungry, love will keep us alive. I would die for you, climb the highest mountain. Baby, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. 'Cause now I found you, there's no more emptiness inside. When we're hungry, love will keep us alive.
Now, Paul, I know it's a little bit far off, but we've got to think to the future. Your tour 2022, really exciting. I know you can get tickets at the moment, so we're going to put details on the screen below. But what can we expect from it?
Well, I'll be a lot older by then, but no, I mean, as I said, we've have a great touring band. I mean, the guys have been with me for 20 years or whatever, and touring has been fantastic in recent years. I mean, people love it. There's been an appetite for it. We had a whole year of touring that we lost this year. We were hoping to get cracking early on next year. 2021. But of course, it's been really difficult. We don't know exactly. So we thought the safest option was to put ourselves in the position that we could be out there in 2022. And obviously there's going to be lots of bands out there because they're all chomping at the bit to get out playing live again. So, I mean, we have a great band, as I say, 6-piece band, all Sheffield lads. And we include a bit of everything from songs we've talked about today, those hits. Yeah. But I'm always putting out new stuff. I mean, as I said, I'm working on a new album as well. So there'll be a bit of everything. But it seems miles and miles into the future. But at least it gives us something to look forward to, something to work towards, and keeps everybody motivated, and that's the main thing.
Exactly what we need, definitely. And it's going to your hometown as well, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We always hit Sheffield, yeah.
Yay, brilliant stuff. Well, we're going to play out your next song, Tempted, which I want to dedicate to Wendy, who I know is a big fan of yours tonight. Okay. So enjoy this one, Wendy.
Oh, the toothbrush, toothpaste, a flannel for my face, pajamas, a hairbrush, shoes and a case. Said to my reflection, let's get out of this place. I have the church and the steeple, the laundry on the hill, the billboards and the buildings, memories of it still keep calling and calling. story I could tell. At my bedside, empty pocket, a foot without a socket. Your body gets much closer. I fumble for the clock, alarmed by the seduction. I wish it would stop. Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, the truth is discovered. What's been going on? Now you are gone. There's no other. Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, but the truth is discovered. I bought a novel, a perfume, a fortune off for you, but it's not my conscience. Hates to be untrue. As to my reflection, what is there to do? Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, the truth is discovered. What's been going on? Now you are gone. There's no other. Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, but the truth is discovered. I was tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, but the truth is discovered. What's been going on?
Now we're going to play out Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, which I know was written by your friend Jerry Marston, who sadly passed away.
He did, indeed.
Recent weeks.
He did indeed. It's very, very sad. Because as I said before, growing up, I was a big fan of all the British rock bands, particularly the Mersey beat sound. You know, I loved the Beatles, the Searchers, the Merseys, Jerry and the Pacemakers. They were real heroes and really saved my life, got me, you know, into music and wanting to be a musician. So a few years ago, I recorded a version of Jerry's song, Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, with a full orchestra and everything. And he called me up out of the blue, and I was a bit worried that he might not like the version, but he said he loved it, and from then on he started to come to our shows when we played in Liverpool, and it was just amazing to get to meet him. And you know, he's an absolute legend, and he's a great singer, and wrote some real good songs. And he was a lovely guy. You know, he was a very down to earth guy. Very when we got the news this week, obviously we were absolutely gutted for his family, for his wife Pauline, and his girls. So it was really, really sad. But at least that, you know, it was great to meet him, and I'm so pleased that he enjoyed the version of the song. So we have a live version that we'll play for you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Let's take a look at the live version, and we'll see you after this.
Don't let the sun catch you crying. The night's the time for all your tears. Your heart may be broken tonight, tomorrow in the morning light. Don't let the sun catch you crying. the sun catch you crying. We know that crying is not a bad thing, but stop your crying when the birds sing. It may be hard to discover that you've been left for another, but don't forget that love's a game. It can always come again. Don't let the sun catch you crying. We know that crying's not a bad thing, but stop your crying when the birds sing. It may be hard to discover that you've been left for another. Don't forget that love's a game. It can always come again. Don't let the sun catch you crying. Don't let the sun catch you crying. No, 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 no.
Paul, we've now come to the end of the show, but it's been such a pleasure to have you here with us this evening. What can we expect from you coming up?
Well, as I said, I've been working on a couple of different projects. One album is, all new material. I've been recording here at home, and I've been making a band with another album remotely with the SWR band from Germany. That's a bit more of a jazz type album. But just keeping busy, trying to keep productive, and I'm very pleased with the things I'm coming up with. So at least we've put the time to good use. But we're really looking forward to getting back out there on the road. It can't happen sooner.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. Bring it back. It'll be good
Absolutely.
Times. Yeah, well, we're going to put details on the screen again below for people to see how you can get tickets for your tour and check out your album. But thank you so much. We're going to leave you now with some more Paul Carrack classics. But thank you, Paul. It's been such an honour and pleasure to have you on the show. It's Paul Carrack, everyone.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Looking back over my shoulder, I can see that look in your eye. But I never dreamed it could be over. I never wanted to say goodbye. Looking back over my shoulder, there's an aching deep in my heart that I wish we were starting over instead of drifting so far apart. Everybody told me you were leaving. It's funny, I should be the last to know. Baby, please tell me that I'm dreaming. I just never want to let you go. Looking back
Oh, huge thank you to Paul Carrack. What an amazing guest on tonight's show. And to you at home for supporting this show every single week. It really is very much appreciated. Thank you. Now, the winner of the giant size Marty Wild print goes to, drumroll, Mike Moore. Congratulations, Mike. And I will see you same time, same place next week. I'm Hayley Palmer. Stay safe and I'll see you then.
Say